Welcome back, guys. It is the Brothers Geek Out podcast. I want to say a massive thank you to everybody that listens in. I have a special guest on today for our Geek Out session. I've got Stephen on, Stephen Geekface, but recently I've seen it's changed the name. What would you go under, bro?
I always go by Stephen Geekface. Obviously, if you get all professional, then you got to use the government name. But some people call me Geekface just to be like, but then it's just Stephen Geekface. So yeah, whatever helps rolls at your tongue easily. So
easy. That's really good. So I've met Stephen a couple of times now. We've crossed paths in the type of work that we do. But recently we got to do something that was just out of this world, where we got to meet Dwayne Johnson. Now, bro, still to this day. Oh yeah. There we go.
I had to bring him on. The journey, mate. Sorry.
Yeah, so we were lucky enough to meet Dwayne Johnson, and then we got to the premiere and the rest of it, and so on. And I think both of our journeys have been like seeing everything online has been absolutely amazing. Getting to do things like that. I mean, Stephen, when did you kind of say, I want to do this? Like, this is what I want to do.
I actually remembered it was New Year's Eve 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, 2018. I had always, obviously, I studied film. I loved film from I was 5, just always watching films. My room would be stacked of DVDs and VHS tapes and all sorts. So I'd always been into film. And I did leave the whole film industry. It wasn't for me. It wasn't as exciting as I thought it'd be. And it was difficult to get in from time to time. So in my spare time, I would just watch films and keep myself busy. And just online, I would just post. It would just be a post to I'll watch this film over day. It was this. It was that. This could have been better. It started as that. Just something as simple as that. And I started to get a little bit of an attraction. And someone said to me, why do you do videos? You got a good personality. You're pretty weak and you're pretty knowledgeable about your film. So why don't you do videos? And I was like, I'm not. Coming from the film world, to be behind the camera, not in front.
That's right.
There was some, I wasn't with it completely. Just literally, it was after Christmas. I don't know what, I think I may have watched a film or something. Something just triggered in me, and then literally, I just all the money that I had saved over Christmas, I'm getting equipment. I'm getting camera. I still got cameras. I'm getting lighting. Nice. I'm getting a backdrop, and we begin. And that was it. New Year's Eve, 2018 is when I started, and I did my first review. First video watch was my 10 top movies of 2018. That was the first one I dropped.
Nice.
And then just kept going. And then there's been some times where I've dipped or I've been disencouraged to continue, but there was always film is still my love. It's still my passion. I always watch films regardless whether I have to do a review or not. And I just keep watching. And I was like, I want to share this, or I've got something that someone else might have not said. And I just kept going. And I got invited to a screening through a +1, as you've probably been through before, just randomly. And I was like, wow. Then I started meeting other people, and I said, oh, this is actually a business. I didn't know this was a business. This was a thing. There was a world, and there was people like me that do what they do on the professional level. I said, okay, I'm not a writer. I've never been good at writing. I've got this dyslexic, so I'm not going to go into the writing, but
me and you both
put videos out.
Yeah.
I'm going to put videos out, and I'm going to keep going. I'm going to inspire other people, and people have seen me on this journey, and they've been like, okay, people have never understood what I was doing. I don't know what you're doing, but okay, have fun. You look happy in the videos. Cool. But then when you have moments like we had that we both experienced recently, then they go, okay, I get it now. I get what you're trying to do. It makes sense. Keep going. Don't forget us, as people will say. But
always.
It's been a blessing. It's been a blessing journey. So literally from 2018, and I've just begun, because I know there's other people who've been doing what I do or something similar that I've been doing it for like 10 plus years, 8 years, 7 years, and I can see where they've got to now. So I'm still a baby in this game. So yeah, it's just a matter of time. Just keep on going.
Welcome to this world. Welcome to this world, because as you can see, it does reward you in so many ways. Maybe not in many ways when it comes to that, but I think personally, and then this is just my point of view. I've been on social media probably 10 years now, and didn't think in the past 5 years of the way it boosted and what I did, where it could take me. And same thing as you, bro. Most of my friends and family do. Like, Kibble, what the hell are you doing, man? Like, you're gonna have a kid soon, and you like, you're just doing all this random stuff. And I'm like, I'm just enjoying it. Yes, I still do my 9 to 5. You know, it pays the bill, pays the mortgage.
You gotta pay the bills. Yeah.
Yes. But in the process, I get to do some like cool stuff, and it's like, as a hobby, as a moviegoer, and that's the same as me. As a moviegoer, where I was going, watching movies, giving my thoughts, we'd have massive discussions, you know, and then suddenly my middle brother, he moved to Hong Kong at the time to pursue his career out there and in like martial arts and the job he was doing. That we used to just talk, and this is how the podcast was born. And we talked about, you know, comics, artwork, movies. And then, you know, 6 years down the line, as you said, the reward, I get to do screenings, enter the whole different world, premieres, meeting guests, interviews. I'd never thought to this day I'd be able to, and as you said, I'm not a writer. My dyslexia is like on peak levels. So I could only do videos, and, you know, that took a long time because my background is comic book artwork and photography. So I was always behind the scene. So now being able to do this and jump on podcasts and have conversations with people has made me much more confident to reach out to people and say, listen, man, I want to hear about your journey. I want to talk about things like that. So that's amazing, dude. You should be proud. You should be proud. This world is amazing in its own ways, but it does have its hard times as well. And as you said, it dips, yes. It's up and down.
Yes, definitely.
It dips, it's up and down. So this is just from me coming personally. Behind you have the Back to the Future poster. It's like my all-time favorite movie, dude. Like,
yes, I know. I've
that movie is a whole different level for me when it came to inspiring me on my journey as well, and it still does to this day. It keeps creeping back. Like, so yesterday I got to go to the Back in Time exhibition, which is starting today. Guys, nice. If you are a fan of this movie, and Stephen, if you're a fan, you're gonna absolutely love this. It's got over 70 props and memorabilia from the trilogy.
Oh, the whole trilogy, not even the first one.
No, man, all the whole, bro. They've got so much in this, unbelievable. And then they've got a licensed replica of the DeLorean there as well. But what made me it just gassed me up was like, they've got purchase orders of the parts that they bought for the DeLorean back then, and they had a purchase order of the device that they called the flux capacitor, and they had the PO for it, the invoice for it, and I was like, right, that thing costs like $500, and they bought 3 of them to go in 2 different cars and stuff like that. But it's like, even the minute details, they even had the trainers. They've got one of the trainers, the Nike mags from part 2.
Back to the Future 2.
Yeah. So they've got the other part. They didn't have the pair. The other one got caught on fire in one of the studios. So they got this one original Nike that Michael J. Fox wore, but it's starting to deteriorate. But then they've got all the other replicas and trainers that everybody else wore in the movie, and it's like, oh my god, this is just, anybody who loves like dunks are just gonna love just geeking out in that section there of the museum, bro.
I have to ask, did you ever think about purchasing? Because I remember they brought out the Nike, official version of that trainers. I think it came out the anniversary of Back to the Future, which was, I think, 2015, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you're right. So they brought out the first pair. Yes, I did cop a pair, bro.
Oh, you did? Okay, right. Okay.
So that was back then when it was like,
it wasn't my budget back then.
So yeah, that was like I think at the time when I got it, so that was the first ones that came out, and they were going for like a grand, 2 grand, that was reasonable at that time. Now, like when you compare the prices, they did the Power Laces ones a couple of years ago. You're looking at 65 to 80 grand, and you're like, do I get another mortgage out?
Nah,
Nah,
nah.
I'm cool.
Okay.
But when he did it originally, they were at the time 15 to like 3,000-4,000 pound. They went, all the money went to charity, so it's a
Yeah.
great thing that he did there. But now those original ones, bro, I'm looking to cop
That
another
one
house with
pair.
them, bro. That one pair, I'm gonna cop a house with that, bro. That's one of those savers things.
But that's the thing. Once you get it, you're not gonna wear it. You're like,
No,
I can't
never,
wear
never,
this.
never. I think it's Kid Cudi who bought 2 pairs. One that he wears,
Yeah.
one that he displays, and I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
nah, man,
If you do that, if you got the way to do that, cool. But like, when are you even going to wear it? That's the thing as well.
no,
Like,
no.
unless there's
So,
like you're going to the Back to the Future like experience you went to, or the
yeah,
musical, then maybe.
but I wouldn't even wear it then, bro. I wouldn't even wear it then. Can you imagine getting the bottom of those trainers scuffed up, bro? And not even that. If I'm jumping on public transport and somebody steps on my foot, I'm gonna be like causing all sorts of drama, bro.
Did they actually work? By the way, did they actually do the whole?
No, so the original,
tying up?
the original ones that were done, they didn't have the tie up. The second version they did 2 years ago, they've got little motors at the bottom, which as soon as you sink your feet in, it tightens up.
Ooh,
Sick, absolutely sick. But yeah, amazing. It's one of my greatest part of my like Back to the Future collection. I mean, to be honest, the wife's gonna kill me. But anything Back to the Future related, I'm just grabbing it, man. Yeah, as you can see, my red gilet is still sitting here, bro, from last night's thing. So it's just full of it. It's just full of it. You recently got to catch it. Well, it's already out there in the open. But I mean, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. What was your thoughts on that, bro?
I've said it many times before,
Yeah.
but I thought for what the challenges they had to do with the film,
Yeah,
I think they did a pretty okay. I think
mm-hmm.
they did a fine job. It's not a typical Marvel movie, so I've said that I don't think people are gonna go back and repeat like multiple showings. Hold on. Sorry. Multiple showings of the movie. But I think, like I said, what they did, I thought it was okay. I thought good performances. You can't really tell whether they are just acting or they're taking something obviously that's happened in real life.
Yeah.
But good performance is a good performance. So
yeah.
I'm
Of course,
happy
of
with
course.
that.
No, of course. That it's hard to, because I've gone and seen it like 3 times already, dude. But as a comic book geek, getting to see that stuff on the big screen is just for me, it's a great experience. But there are things in there where I'd be like, they could have made it a bit shorter. But
Yeah.
And then I mean, spoilers, guys. The last bit did throw me off, bro. The third act with Namor and
you're talking about? Oh, I thought you were talking about the after credits. You're talking about that?
No. The actual third act of
scene.
the movie. Yeah. So where it's nice how they resolved things, because countries in the reality we live in will go to just kill up anybody and let's just take over and do what we can. Where they did it in a civil way in here, which is it's got an important message in that movie, which most people won't see. But I just feel like the third act of the way they kind of resolved it was just, it didn't have too much weight on it. It just
it was kind of like, it was very anti-climax for me. I was just
yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
right,
so I was
surrender.
like that.
All right, okay, cool. I beat you in a fight. All right, surrender. All right, cool. All right. Yeah. So everyone, let's go back to the sea. Sebastian, let's go. Let's go do our thing. That's it. Okay.
So that threw me off.
It had to end somewhere. I would have liked, this is me, I would have liked almost like an Empire Strikes Back ending. Wakanda is effed up, is done, it is finished. And then the Americans or whoever's like, the French are, ooh, Wakanda's down, yeah?
Let's jump in.
Let's come in. Let's jump in. then end it like that. I would have been gassed. I was like, no, it would have been almost like Infinity War ending. Like, nope.
Yeah,
nope,
that's right.
I refuse for this to end. But I guess, like I said, the aim for this was just to show a tribute to Chadwick and to wrap up the story. Because I can't help but think, what would this film be like if T'Challa was actually in this movie.
Mm.
Chadwick was in this film, and he was the one facing Namor, as he
Mm.
likes to call himself. I think it would have been a complete entire film. Paul would have believed the battle, the win at the end, because I wasn't buying it. But like I said, she just used her brain. She didn't use her brawns to beat him. But yeah, it was fine. Like I said, I don't think people are gonna go back and watch it.
No,
I've
you're
seen
right,
it twice,
because
and I'm just gonna wait till it
yeah,
comes
no, it's
on
true. It's not.
Disney Plus.
I don't think it's not your normal Marvel movie, as you said exactly that. And I think going into this movie, people need to know as this. You don't actually see the Black Panther until like the last 20 minutes of the film.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? So you're not actually you're seeing her grow as a character and trying to accept the responsibilities and the traditions of taking on the Black Panther mantle, but we don't see that till the last 20 minutes. So it is, for some people, it will be definitely a hard watch, but I think because everybody's got that attachment of, the tribute to Chadwick as well, like, 10 minutes in, I'm a grown-ass man, Barlin. Last scene, Barlin. And I was like, okay, well, how are you doing this to me? But there's a recent podcast that Ryan Coogler was on, and if you hear what his ideas were for the original script, it was exactly what you said, bro. The world comes into Wakanda to take over. And Chadwick, I mean, spoilers again, they were going to introduce his son much more earlier in it as well.
Yeah.
So it would have been, it would have been amazing to see what they could have done, what would have been in the original script. But yeah.
I will say though that they kind of did tell us beforehand. They kind of did spoil it by the title. Now, if you look at the title, this is very great marketing. The word Black Panther is as tiny as you can see. You have to squint, maybe. And the word Wakanda Forever takes up the whole screen. So this film was telling you it's about Wakanda.
Yeah.
And Black Panther is going to make a little small appearance. So they told you the title. So,
marketing is shit, doesn't it?
Yeah. If you didn't gather that, I'm sorry. If you're disappointed, I'm sorry. And it wouldn't make sense that all of a sudden from the beginning it's just
of
course, like I said, to go for a journey. Like she had to earn it, like because there were people who were not just obviously there were some people who were like, oh, because she's they don't want to see a female Black Panther. That probably came into it as well. Obviously, the teacher's rights, personal views about certain things, which I won't go into, that in the part, and also the fact of the character that we have got from just the first movie and maybe from Infinity War, it seemed she was hands-on. She was in the science, she was doing all the science, she was making the gizmo. She was like Q in James Bond. She was gizmo.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
But now imagine a film about Q is now James Bond. You want to see the transgression of that.
Of course.
So obviously that had to take it. That had to take because it would just be weird. Like especially they had the whole scene with, sorry spoilers if you haven't seen it, when they go 1 year later after the funeral and then literally she's in the Black Panther. So you're like, no, I'm not buying it. Like I've only seen you in combat one time, and obviously we know in the comics that she does become it.
Yeah, of
eventually.
course. Yeah.
But in the comics, they've got time to tell her story,
gradually get to that story.
Where we haven't really got the opportunity. She's only had, like I said, a movie and an appearance in another movie. So the fact of and obviously like we didn't get to see it. She was in Endgame, but we didn't really get a whole big scene of her fighting Thanos' army or even Thanos. So
exactly.
They had to show all that. But I think if they had shown more before, we probably would have got Black Panther straight away, because you're like, all right, cool. Drink the purple juice, whatever it's called. I always call it. They need to make that into a drink. I don't know why they haven't made that into a drink. Like people just walk around drinking like
David Chappelle would say, sugar water purple.
Yeah, exactly.
Sugar water purple. I want some of that grape juice.
Yeah.
I don't want Sunny Delight. I want some of that purple stuff. Bro. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. No, it's true. I don't even, well, you know what? You wouldn't be surprised, bro. A couple of years, something comes out, the heart-shaped herb juice. It'd be interesting to see that. It'd be interesting to see that. With you being, you were, when you were, so you said you were in film, was it as acting or was it behind the scenes or?
Behind the scenes.
Okay, all right.
It was mainly music videos that I had been in Well, not been in, like I
Yeah.
wasn't in front of the camera singing, but behind the scenes. And
Yeah.
then obviously doing like content at events and that type of thing. So
Okay, interesting. Because my journey went through. Well, so basically I used to work for a shop called my retail days called Jessop's, and I stayed there a long time. And I went from doing photography, and I did the same thing. I went through music videos, and then went to events doing photography, and then was like, this is dead. What's going on here? People are undercutting me like crazy now. Like, when they're charging £50 for a music video, and I'm like, oh man, do you know how much time goes into editing? But it was probably quite a difficult time when I joined in and jumped on that. So I found that very hard, but it got me back into.
I think at the time I look back and said if I could have done things differently was I didn't realize the importance of networking. So when I got into it, I was very, I wouldn't say antisocial, but I was just very to myself. And I just thought, okay, we're here to do the thing. We leave and we go home, do the work and go home, like most workplaces. But it's important, which I've learned now, that just networking, just building some kind of relationship with someone, and on that level, to the fact of, hey, I've got this opportunity. Do you want to, do an interview? Or, hey, I got this, I saw this. And if I'd known it back then, I think things would be a little bit more easy for me. It was very hard for me. It was struggling to get one gig to another. And like I said, I wasn't really trying to like, hey, buddies, what kind of forever? Hey, what are you doing tomorrow? Hey, let's go down to the pub. I wasn't doing all that. I was just like, all right, cool, film done, laters, bye.
Yeah.
Be on the shoot for almost 8 hours. Okay, I'm done. Adios. I've got things to do. I want to go home and watch Walking Dead or something. I'm done. Finish. Let's go. But yeah, something I've realized now, and which has helped big time.
Yeah.
Just knowing people and not being afraid to say hi. I even pull it out. I always tweet and say, hey, if you see me, I'm probably the only 6'2" black guy in the room anyway. Don't be afraid to come up and say hi. If you see me online,
it's true.
Or you see me on Twitter.
Yeah, no, of course. It's a great way. I mean, I suppose the industry that we're in as well, it is all about networking. Like if I didn't meet you, we wouldn't do the podcast. We wouldn't experience the meeting the Rock, and it's a small universe that we're in.
Yeah,
we are in a really good small universe, but networking is so key, man. Like again, same thing, man. Go on, sorry.
I was just gonna say it's important to be likable.
Yeah.
If you're not likable, you're not really gonna get far, whatever industry you're in, especially in the entertainment industry.
Exactly.
Whether it's the actors themselves or the runners, that's getting the tea and coffee. You've got to be likable.
Of course. So... Yeah, that's it. The runner's job is hard, man. I did that for a couple of years.
Shout out to my runners. Keep going, guys.
Definitely. It's a hard.
It's just the beginning. Job. It's not the end.
Nah, keep it going. So, jumping onto like movie reviews, and recently you've got to interview directors, producers, and stuff like that. What was that like for you when you got that first opportunity and it was like, I'm going to do this interview? But did you kind of like panic before it happened?
Well, I have to firstly shout out to Naysagaris, which is a company I work for.
Okay.
They're a gaming company, and they've now branched out into the film world. They're doing junkets, they're doing interviews, they're screenings and all sorts. Obviously, I'm part of their team. I'm one of the guys, one of the faces of their film world. So it was through them that I got like my first ever junket, which was with Will Packer for Beast.
Yeah.
And I was just ready. I was just like, I could do this. This is fine. Like I said, speak to people every day. I've done podcasts, webcams, all types of stuff beforehand. So it's like, yeah, this is fine. And it's weird. Maybe this is so funny. So I was prepared. I had my questions. I already knew exactly what I was going to ask. I had it all mentally prepared. I go into the room. I shake Will Packer's hand. And all of a sudden, every fear just came through. It was crazy. It was absolutely just, I was like, oh my God, I'm in front of Will Packer. Because I started thinking of all the films he's produced.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy did the Oscars where Will slapped Chris Rock, oh my God, don't mess up,
Mm.
don't mess up, don't mess up. And he said something to me. I just said to him, hi, yeah, I'm Steven. This is actually my first official junket. So you're my first. I made a joke out of it, like almost like a virgin joke. You're my first. So, and he said something, and I apologized for my language. He said, well, Steven, don't fuck up now. And when he said that, I felt like I was talking to like my dad or something.
Yeah.
When he said that, all the fears was gone. It was gone. As soon as he said, don't fuck up now, I went, yes, sir. And just went on. I did my thing. But yeah, it's something I didn't think when I was doing my reviews, you know, in my house, in my little setup, that one day eventually I will be doing junkets and interviews and speaking to people that have made films that I've watched religiously over and over the years. And it's a blessing and it's a great opportunity. I definitely want to do more. There are some things down the pipeline for next year, which I will keep my lips sealed and keep it in the heavens. But yeah, I'm looking forward to more. And yeah, it was just fun. It was a fun experience. It is a different world. Like you've got like, I don't know, maybe I'm telling back behind the scenes, but you got your questions. They give you like a time. They give you a time frame. Sometimes it's 5 minutes, depending on the talent and who you are. Sometimes you might get 10 if you're lucky, or 20. But for me, they gave me 5. And while you're talking and you're trying to get your answers, you're trying to look down your phone if you've got your questions in your hand, all sorts. You've got the producer going, and it's so distracted. It's so distracted. I did a recent one with a junket that's coming out soon, which I won't spoil just yet. And the guy just literally just spoke up and said, yeah, you got 2 minutes, mate. Like halfway through the question,
man.
I had to do it again. And I started stuttering. I haven't stuttered for like years.
Oh, shit.
And I started stuttering. I was like, mate, you can't say that through my question. He's like, yeah, you got 2 minutes, mate. So, yeah, but it's something you've got to you've got to learn.
That's right, yeah.
Be in the game. And now I'm just going to like, I think the next time I'm going to just speak up. I'm like, yeah, can I finish this question? Like, honestly, can I finish it? And then let it finish. And sometimes the actor, if they like you, the person you're interviewing, they might back you up. Let them finish.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's as you said, what about being likable and having questions that you throw across that are gonna impact them and say, you know what, this guy gave me like some really good questions. So when I did like a roundtable with Pierce Brosnan and Aldous Hodge. And I'm a big fan of what Aldous Hodge does. And he's a fan, you know, he's an artist, he's a watchmaker, he's a martial artist. Like he is creative in all levels, which is inspiring to see. And I was asking him about like, you know, if he was to do a comic book cover, which characters would he do and stuff like that. And they like really went into it. Yeah. But then I can see the tension like in that room because it's not just me and them. I'm in this room, like Zoom room with other people. And they're like, this mother asking that sort of question, man, going to take up 10 minutes of the because they went in, bros. Aldous Hodge went in, Pierce Brosnan went in, bros, and I was like, man, thank you so much for answering that question. It's probably the best 10 minutes of my life.
You get your content. That's what that matters. Everybody else can wait. You get your content. So,
but yeah, it's but nerves. I mean, I'm always nervous, but my brother said is using that fear, and once you get into it, you'll forget everything. And it's the icebreaker. So what happened in your situation when he said don't fuck up? That was the icebreaker to say, you know what, we're gonna get along great on this. This is gonna be fine. And that's always nice. So no, that must have been absolutely amazing. I'm looking forward to seeing the next one, which is that soon? Coming out soon? Yes,
very, very, very soon. It's I will say it's for a series and it's for it's a series, it's a sequel to a film. But they've made it into a series. So don't say anything if you think you know what.
No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm trying to work it out.
But yeah, I was very excited to do this one. It was something I grew up from the first film. Yes, I'd watched this religiously. I remember being on a Sunday afternoon, it's raining. I'm 6 years old and we're just watching this film all the time. And I just loved it. And it's not a perfect film, but it's nostalgic.
No, I mean,
for
me. Yeah. I mean, I think that's like me, man. I've got so many favorite films from the 80s and 90s, which are not perfect films, but they're they sit really well. I mean, Labyrinth with David Bowie and Jennifer Connelly, like it's a timeless movie. It's not perfect, but
Yeah.
it still works. Every time I watch it, I'm still going into that world. Big Trouble in Little China. I adore that
Oh,
movie, bro.
you're speaking to me now, mate. I
I
love that.
adore that movie, you know, and I'm inspired by what John Carpenter does. He's not just a director, bro. That guy edits. He did the soundtrack. He just continued to do more and more. Like he does so much for the films that he makes. I mean, Back to the Future is again one of my all-time favorites, but you know, the 80s movies, man, the 90s movies, they just sit so well. You know, I could slap on Rocky
Yeah.
and watch it 1,000 times. It's still not boring. I still get into it. I still get hyped. Creed 3, I'm
I still
looking
cry
forward
like
to.
a baby watching that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to Creed.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced that Creed can beat. I'm not convinced. I don't think he can win. If they win, I think it might throw me off the film just a little bit. I don't
Really?
know why. This time, I could slightly buy the last one. I don't know why I could buy it, even though that should have happened either. But this one, I don't know. There's something about the Challenger. Obviously,
Yeah.
if you haven't seen the trailers or who it is, I won't say it. But the Challenger looks like he's on smoke. He has got a lot of things he wants to say, get off his mind, and he's
Yeah.
going to use his fist.
Oh my God.
He wants payback.
Oh,
And when someone comes like that and they're swollen like that,
swollen,
oh
bro.
no. Yeah, I don't know if he could beat him, but if you beat him, the film's gonna have to do a really good job of convincing me. And obviously, this is Michael B. Jordan's first,
director. Yeah,
film. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've loved what they've done with it. I am a bit sad that Rocky isn't in this one, and there's been weird talks with Sylvester Stallone about how
I've seen it. I've seen him.
Which I won't go into, which I just think, do you know what's gonna happen? They're gonna pay him off, give him a nice little fee.
Come to the premiere, man.
Film. Yeah.
I need you promoted.
It's the greatest film since Rocky 1. Watch, bet money on it. Give him a nice.
Now, bless him. I mean, Stallone's quite a forward guy, and that's one guy I'd love to meet one day in my lifetime.
Oh,
where
yes,
he is. You know, I know he's had issues with the producer once they started the Creed universe. So I know that's caused a big thing. But I mean, as you said, he'll support. You know, Michael B. You know, this if you're going to direct, then do this. If you're passionate about this project, but like Creed 1 for me, that movie is just perfect. I think what Ryan Coogler did in that movie, so good, bro. So good. And you're right. There's something about that universe that, you know, continues in everybody else's life. It's about how you keep moving forward and, you know, the next steps that you take. The Creed 2, I don't know.
See, I
still watch it. Still hype.
I love Creed 2. Do you know what's funny? I wasn't even rooting for the Creed character. I was rooting for Ivan Drago's character.
Oh no!
I felt for them when the mom gets up and leaves. Nah, I said no. This woman, no. I was when there was rumors about the producers wanted to make an Ivan Drago movie. I was like, you know what? From what I got from that last one, I would watch it. They were my favorite. I felt emotionally connected to them. I was just like, man. And then when he threw the towel and he said, son, let's just go. I said,
emotions.
I can't. Yeah. Where's my tissue? I need to cry. It's too much.
Oh, brilliant. Absolutely
but
brilliant. No.
Speaking of, obviously, we spoke about 90s movies. I had to watch a very old film of mine that I haven't seen for a very long time. It's probably been like, I don't know, 10 years plus maybe. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. On behalf of the great Jason Frank, aka Tommy Oliver, the best Power Ranger ever. The guy who had the best sound effects ever. Did you know he had the best? He's the only one that made sound effects that no one makes me. Like, just brilliant. And yeah, I forgot like how it's weird. When I remember watching that film as a child, and I just remembered like, okay, they did try to do something with this movie.
Yeah,
there's a movie here somewhere. They really tried to. When I say okay, it's not Casablanca or anything. But
no, of course.
They really tried to elevate it from 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 the TV show.
TV shows, yeah, that's right.
Costumes, the
Yes.
lighting. There's a great lighting. Like it looks really dark and sinister. When they find I think the what do you call them? The ooze men.
Yeah, the
ooze men.
Yeah.
Some really good, like especially when you compare it to the Power Rangers show. Like there's no great.
There's no lighting in there, man. That's just a straight.
There's no light at all. Just straight. Maybe one light, and it's the natural light, the actual light switch in the room. That's it.
Yeah.
But this one's like, okay, they try to make it all dark and sinister. It's almost like a kid's version of the Bat. When they went from the Adam West Batman to the Mike, it was almost like that. There's a film here somewhere.
There is.
The producer's just like, yeah, we need to keep this as kiddie as we can. We don't have time for this. I love the costumes.
Mm-hmm.
Zordon almost dies. I remember crying as a child. I was like, no, Zordon's gonna die. But yeah, it's once again, no perfect film. Don't come for me, guys. But nostalgic, and yeah, it was good seeing it again, and just remembering how a big impact, Jason Frank had a lot of us when we were growing up.
No, of course, because he was the outsider, innit? He was the outsider, and that's what made a lot of us connect with the character. I mean, I grew up watching it with my brothers because they're younger than me, so I was already in my early teens when it came out, but I still watch how excited they were, seeing these characters and connecting with these characters, and they're seeing them fight, and they're all my dad's a martial artist, so we all grew up with martial arts, and seeing them in the front room using their stuff, like it's like now I can go back and say what a great memory. But what these characters meant to them and us growing up as well, to see it still going. I mean, Jason Frank, he was awesome with his fans. The way he took out time to see his fans, and I wish I got to meet the dude because he was a great martial artist as well. He ran a couple of dojos back where he was and created his own thing. He did MMA fighting as well, bro. You're like, this guy. He was a true martial artist in what he did, and the way he saw life. Exactly. And rest in peace, man. Rest in power. It's always hard. I mean, I grew this tash for the men that commit suicide during Movember, and we lost one of the great ones. So I'm gonna still keep pushing for mental health for men as well, because it's so important, man. We don't air it. Our pride takes over, and it's so important that you're not alone and that you can talk to people, and you could clearly see somebody that has a really great lifestyle, money, all the rest of it, and still struggling in the process. And I know there's more to it. We'll never know the truth. But us as guys, we need to be talking more often. We need to let out. I mean, look, we cry at movies. That's my outlet. And it's important because that's stuff that you hold in like really tight in you, and it just goes. But all right, bro. Stephen, thank you so much, man, for jumping on. I've only got like a minute left on here. I didn't upgrade because Zoom are trying to bump mans. But Stephen, where can we find you? I'm going to put all the descriptions in the link, guys. Make sure you go.
Literally on all social outlets: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Either Stephen Geekface or hashtag So Geeked about movies.
Awesome.
Literally.
That's great. Awesome. Guys, thank you again. Stephen, thank you very much, bro. Have an awesome weekend, bro. We'll catch up.
You too, man. Pleasure.
Awesome. Take care. Bye.
Bye.